Hello, hello. How's it going? How are you doing? It's a beautiful night here on the deserted island. Just in case the background's a little hot. Thought I'd do a little gameplay video. A live broadcast. This is a game I've been working on for a little bit. I'm in the middle of this is kind of like right in the middle of the game actually. And I've been exploring a lot of ideas that I've been trying to achieve. And I've successfully achieved a lot of them. Surprising amount of them. I was actually reviewing my game design documents from the past, and I discovered that I had been trying to create this game, I don't know, for 5 years. Just like scribbling down ideas and getting busy, picking up other stuff, doing actual video work and achieving certain things, but I had the chance to finally sit down and make this happen. And it ended up doing all kinds of things that I was really hoping to. The primary goal was to have a game that I could I could load up and feel completely confident that nothing bad was going to happen. I wasn't going to open a door and break something. I wasn't going to get lost. I wasn't going to have any problems or run into trouble. Anything like that.
Oh, you made it to the Mind River. Great. These pandas are all over the place. There's a falcon soaring above, and I don't know what's going on with the kookaburras. I didn't even know he had pandas or falcons or kookaburras. I've actually never even been out here before. The game normally ends after 7 seconds. Also, I forgot to say, it's totally okay if you haven't been meditating. I know you've done it for 6 seconds for sure, and that's really good. I just don't have any 6-second certificates. You really shouldn't force yourself to meditate anyway or create unnecessary mental discomforts, because that'll bum you out and create disdain for the whole experience. I will say though, struggling at first, getting through those wild thoughts is actually part of the process. It might take even 77 seconds to finally settle them down and start. I know you remember how hard those first few seconds were now. Seeing what is going on in your mind and really identifying thoughts, allowing them to come and go without holding on to or growing them is easier once you do it.
That's the voice of the speaker, as I've called them, the drone that flies around and explains the game. I don't know, this is really fun to show it off in a meaningful way. I recently patched some boats into this level. Previously it was just the player who was able to sit in a boat, but now the pandas get to as well. And if you haven't started playing yet, this is a meditation game where the focus is being able to play from beginning to end, only meditating. That's the only skill you have. There's no buttons at all. There's no interface. There's no crunching time limit or artificial boundaries that make the game harder than it needs to be. But instead, there's simply a bunch of monsters, as they're called, that are patiently waiting for you to meditate on them. And when you do, then they don't interfere with each other, then they continue to meditate with you. And try to target your targets if they can reach them. They all have unique names, which was a practice of its own to go through the game and meditate on the names of all the different characters and what they should be, who they should be. And obviously these pandas are named after some pretty hefty philosophers from the past. Let's see, we got... The game took me a while to build, primarily because it's such a departure from normal gameplay that I wasn't sure how to balance it out exactly, or make things happen the exact way as I wanted them to. So there's a lot of learning that. It also took me a long time because I was always meditating. I was always getting lost in that. I was trapping myself in this meditation world. I should note that we've made it to level 3, and so that means that the power multiplier can go up to level 3. It corresponds to the furthest level you've been able to make it to. So there's a benefit to passing up certain monsters and waiting until you make it further ahead in the game and then come back. It's not mandatory or all that paramount, but it does speed things up later on. I wanted to name all these birds after professions. I wanted to meditate on the different functions of people in the world. And pretty indiscriminately. Not trying to pass judgment or decide which professions were more legitimate than others. Just looking at a list and trying to include everybody doing whatever anybody does. I'm sure I didn't get everybody. I'm sure there's lots of people who do things that I didn't cover, but there's like a variety, which are just fun things to meditate on and to think about. I do have, I wouldn't say some, I might say many outstanding tasks that are just aspirational things that I wanted to do, but ultimately I wanted to make a game where a player can sign in, listen to music, feel peaceful, contribute time, and put their time and energy into thoughts that help them instead of hurt them. And I was kind of rushing toward the finish line. I've got ideas and exploration, and I feel like I can keep adding little bits here and there, balancing things and making them more smooth or exciting or peaceful, adding new elements, whatever's necessary to improve the game experience for people. But ultimately I wanted to just have this as something that keeps track of what you've looked at. I wanted to turn on switches in people's brains about how things can work and what's important. And I did that. I did all the silly things that I was really aspiring to do. It's not too important for us to hit that boss because we've already unlocked this level just through the normal way. We can hop to the desert island now. Deserted island, as they call it. It's a little different. It has crows flying around. Named after philosophical terms. And they're just on the fly. They're flying around kind of on their own terms. The pathfinding has been a little mysterious. but a lot of the elements of this game have kind of come together on their own terms. So I feel like I'm more of the facilitator of all these ideas that have just been floating around in notebooks and Google Docs, goals and dreams, pictures and tasks. As you can see, the armadillos are now firing off their own attentive peace signs. Anything they hit will turn green, or any collisions will be lit up green. That was a crow that I just got in the sky. A little bit of tracking. It's necessary for the fast-moving monsters. And all the projectiles have the same value. So peace is just more power for each object choosing to give it. You can improve their city by paying attention to things. There's a cafe, for example. And as we progress, as we improve it, it becomes colorful, and somewhere in the background, a much more greater, improved skyscraper has been built to help fill out the town. As far as the player's concerned, once again though, the most important thing for them is to focus on either the boss or just meditating on their own. I feel like that resonates with a lot of meditative practices, that you can get lost in what you're thinking about or what's happening in the world. They're real tangible, and I think there's value to really investing your mind in what's important to you, but to advance in a meditative way, you ultimately have to just think about what's most important, or really just meditate as hard as you can on the act of meditation. Really allowing everything to pass. But a lot of options for gamers to jump around and connect slowly with smaller concepts to help progress toward the bigger ones. I must say it's very fulfilling to have achieved this, to have been able to put these things together. I know that it might not be the most impressively graphical world, and I always kind of wanted to have it pretty low intensity. Partially to not be distracting, but partially to not be hardware demanding, so that way anybody could play the game. This actually almost gets too complicated. Which I think it's not too complicated, but there's probably some room for optimization as well. I should note that the music has been made by a composer whose artist name is Breath Body Sounds. I wanted to and intend to make meditation music to continue. New assets of the game, new aspects, and new places to go. But when I spoke to him about the development of this game, he said he was making meditation music, and it was more of a coincidence and opportunity to just collaborate, which ultimately is the real aspiration here. I think that I'm supposed to personally engage in high-level collaboration with a lot of people, but I wanted to, and have always needed to demonstrate what I can contribute or how I can participate. Some degree of imposter syndrome. It's not incredible, but it's still present. So with something like this made, then now I feel like I can make a vision into reality and demonstrate that. It feels like the armadillos are meditating with you. They're looking at what you're looking at. You know, I'm gonna break the combo just to demonstrate that. And you can look at anything in the world and see they're all like, okay, we're thinking about investing now. And although the health bar has disappeared because we've appreciated this object, it still is accumulating points. Do you see it on the right? It should pop up somewhere. There it is. See, it's at 3283. Keeps increasing. I believe it updates after every combo reset. Because I think it's important that we acknowledge everything we look at accumulates value. And it accumulates the value of what others are contributing with you, what you're looking at as well. So you can continue to appreciate things even after you've appreciated them. And just as far as a scorekeeping thing is concerned, the meditation log updates with every appreciation level. So it doesn't happen in real time while you're appreciating something, but when you achieve a certain threshold of appreciation, then it updates the score. I've created some of these terms, but they've been consistent for a while, so now I feel confident using them. I really wanted players to focus on positive thoughts. I really wanted to nail home the idea that if you look at something, you've looked at it, and it's with you, and then ask the question, what do you want to look at the most? And that's actually a harder question to answer, and this has been an exploration of what the value of that is. But I think looking at the words becomes stronger. It's just a mantra. A mantra to get you through the level as you watch what you're paying attention to grow. This kind of imagery is consistent throughout the game, and I think can be applied to all kinds of principles and behaviors and choices. Really just wanted to share this level tonight and reflect on those things. I'm pretty excited to share this game with people, but I also think that it's a very individual journey. So I welcome anyone who's interested to take the leap, dive in, and experience it on their own. on their own terms, on their own time. I think they'll become stronger if they do. That heart gets us to the next level, which I'll pop in a second. But that's kind of all I wanted to cover tonight. There's so many complicated, heady terms that I wanted to I wanted to slowly expand that way, because I feel like if I had gone much further before releasing this game, I would risk alienating people who want to start meditating and want to start experiencing things, but didn't and aren't totally in there yet. So it's very simple, straightforward, peaceful, and kind. And to answer the question, which isn't showing up on my my chat log, it is a baseball hat. It's the brim. It's supposed to be the augmented reality that we see on the screen. We appreciated the boss again. And that's what you can do. The objects are dynamic and they're consistent, and this is an egalitarian world where your attention is rewarded more than anything else. And I'm excited for that. But I'm not going to keep going tonight because that's too much, honestly. There's a lot of information, that's a lot of vibration, that's a lot of positivity. And I think that's enough for one go. But my name is Gold Vision. This is 7 Second Summer Camp. This was the deserted island. I call it that because you're on a desert, but there's 8 levels so far with unique music and no violence, no destruction, and really I really think this might be, or could be aspirationally, the most peaceful game. I really think I can get it there. So if you have any suggestions that you think would improve that or make it more obvious, I'm willing to listen. But otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful night. I hope your energy improves and you, like always, go on to your dream.
You made it to the Upside Down Forest. It's pretty chill for now, but once the whole thing gets spinning, it can get pretty intense around you. Look out for all the parrots, eagles, and owls too. They actually have a camp of their own that they should be going to, but instead they're flying in circles from tree to tree and not getting anywhere. If you want to give them some attention, they'll probably wake up a little bit. That's totally not on you, by the way. It's a lot of responsibility appreciating owls you just met, but you do still get good experience from them.